I'm your favorite Virtual Lavender Idol from Akibaland, and I'm doing another Handcam stream. Yippee! Okay. So, yeah, as you can see here, I have my sketchbook that I'm going to be using to draw. And I have my mechanical pencil, I have my pen, and I did a Handcam stream myself a few weeks ago. I mainly just unboxed some Sentai toys. Oh, how was that? That must have been really fun. But we better not forget the best thing about my my setup is I got, if I could close the box. I don't draw anymore, it hurts my hands. I recommend drawing digitally, with like a mouse or something. That usually works for me. Okay. I just have a special interest in art, so I mean, it checks out. But basically, look what I got. 100 colored pencils. 100 colored pencils. I know I sound like I'm flexing. But even then, I got a box of 100 colored pencils, and which means that there is absolutely no way that I'll get the colors wrong on the Passion Knight OC. Okay, so I know there are some people confused because maybe they might not be too familiar with VTuber culture. I don't know. So basically, what even is a Passion Knight OC? What is it? You might be thinking. I wasn't aware that Crayola had 100 crayon boxes, let alone colored pencils. Yeah, they have 100 crayon boxes. I wonder if they have 100 markers. I can look that up right now. I'm gonna look it up on my tablet. Cause I literally I put my keyboard to the side so that it wouldn't get in the way of the, like the sketchbook. Okay, Crayola 100 markers. Huh. They do have 100 markers. They're from the super tips category. Though for the colored pencils, right? Regarding the colored pencils, there's actually more than just the 100. I think the largest I've seen was 150. Largest I've seen was 150. Pure, unadulterated creativity. That's what we like to see over here. Put my mouse down so that also doesn't get in the way. Okay. So basically, again, you might be confused as to what the heck even a Passion Knight OC is. And I can actually answer that for you. Basically, I won't really talk about what a Passion Knight OC is without talking about this thing that I've mentioned a few times before in the server. There's actually this thing in the VTuber community, the general one, called Oshi OCs. Basically, Oshi is what they refer to as their favorite VTuber, but it originates from idol culture. Because people from idol culture also use the term Oshi to describe their favorite idols. But in this case, we're specifically referring to VTubers. it's like how the K-pop community calls their favorite idols bias. But anyways, and that's where I get into the term Oshi OC, or more commonly known as Oshi Sona. Oshi Sonas are basically a character that you create that represents your love for your Oshi. It can come in several forms. You do not need to follow any sort of convention in order for it to be a good Oshi OC. As long as you made it out of love for your Oshi, it counts as an Oshi Sona. Oh fuck. I've seen some Oshi OCs that don't follow the conventions of other Oshi OCs, and I think they're really cool. But yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get started on the drawing. I should have tied my hair. Okay. So I don't have a pose reference on me. I usually use pose references when I draw digitally, but I don't have any pose references, so I'm just gonna go by my memory. So apologies if my anatomy is a bit wonky. There we go. I'm just straight up locked in because I am really excited to draw this. Cause like, I got the idea of drawing what I like to consider to be the first Passion Knight OC that I've seen. Is because, again, I love VTuber fan culture to an extent. I mean, there are bads of everything. But I always really loved seeing Oshi OCs. And seeing somebody create a Passion Knight OC made me really happy. So I thought it would be a really fun idea if I could draw her. I got this sketchbook because I wanted an excuse to draw more like traditionally, which is what I'm doing right now, of course. It looks really weird. Oh god. I should probably cuz like it looks fine from my angle, but I should probably, like, get a little closer to the sketchbook. Because that just looked really weird. The head looked really weird. Okay. I do also want to, like... Oh. And, like, most Oshi OCs take the form of the, the Oshi mascot that it's supposed to represent. But you don't have to do that. You can also use, you can also make a humanoid character, which is actually something I really like seeing in Oshi OCs. So when people use humanoid characters for their Oshi OCs. Oh god, why is it blurry? I hate when my camera does that. I don't want to mess with the camera a little bit because it took me like 10 whole minutes just to adjust the camera length. But I'm sure it's gonna like focus at some point. Oh yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of the sketch right now. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Ah, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna do that. I completely forgot my my webcam would do that. Okay. This looks slightly better, I guess. A little wonky, but I mean, it is just a sketch, so I'm sure it's not gonna. Sure, it's not gonna be too much of a bother. Whew. Okay. I'm Mario. Hey, welcome! Welcome to the stream. I'm drawing... I'm drawing what I said I would draw. I'm drawing a Passion Knight OC. I explained what I was talking about when I said that I already explained what, like, basically an OC was, for you. But I don't think you were here when I explained it. I could repeat what I just said earlier on if you wish. For those who are just joining. Also, speaking of Mario, have you seen the Mario Strikers Battle League Shy Guy losing animation? No, I do not. Also, sorry, I froze a bit, but also I'm going to be treating this stream like a regular Zatsudan stream. Clearly I wasn't here for anything. I didn't even get to see the document of the Akibaland mall incident. Oh my god. I could treat this like a regular Zatsudan stream, especially since I'm not really doing much other than drawing, so I really don't care if you want to talk about whatever. I mean, if it keeps my mind busy, then that's a good thing. Okay, there we go. Here we go. This works. Okay. Like, I specifically wanted to like I wanted to take a nap earlier today so that I could be like fully waken up. Also, mods, the VTuber revealed their hands. Clip it. This is a Handcam stream. This is a Handcam stream. Plus, I'm an indie, so it doesn't really matter if I reveal my hands or not. And also, hey Hannah, hope you've been well. I've been doing all right. Today I wanted to like take a bit of a nap because I wanted to rest up for the stream, but there were really loud noises outside. There was an absolute destruction, and that lasted for about at the very least 5 hours. It was genuinely awful. And it lasted from 8 a.m. to when I got back from a restaurant today, which was about like 3:45. One day only, no celebrity sightings, didn't attend panels, spent too much time in the artist alley. Oh, you were at Anime Expo. Ooh, that's so cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, you didn't have to like see any like celebrities or go to panels in order to enjoy a con. Hi Jam Jam! Hello! Welcome to my stream. I'm just trying my absolute hardest to I'm just trying my absolute hardest to get my drawing to not look wonky at this point. I have no idea what the Akibaland Mall incident is supposed to be about. I'm genuinely curious to see what it is too, but I will say though, excuse me. I will say though, the getting an OCOC for the Passion Knights was definitely something I never expected in my entire life, but I will embrace that. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome to the chat. Okay. Alright. This will do. It's either the zombie incident or a Yakuza incident, I guess. Yeah, that's probably most likely. Okay. The time I brought the big ass Mario and ended up destroying the Chuck E. Cheese, many ended up dying, most were fatally injured. Damn. But isn't fatally injuring and dying the same thing though? Don't you mean something like severely injured? Cause like, fatal means that you basically got killed. Go. All right. This is looking fairly good so far. No, people can survive a fatal injury from what I've heard. Oh, I see. That's interesting to know. But damn, that was awful. Okay. It wasn't me. I only fought with some Yakuza that one time at a warehouse that Idol merch was stored at. Yeah, I do definitely recommend visiting Akibaland. It's definitely what I like to call the Akihabara, but for people who can't afford Japan. I would describe it as that. There we go. Ooh. I can't believe I'm drawing this character in an idol pose. This is awesome. I guess this is an idol pose. I don't know. Okay, good. I needed to make sure I was drawing 5 fingers and not accidentally drawing 6. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that could work. That could work. Sorry, I'm just checking the anatomy a bit. Don't want to accidentally make something that looks very anatomically incorrect, because that has happened to me on numerous occasions. Okay, nice. The body has been drawn. Now I'm going to get to the hair. Okay. I need to adjust my mic. There we go. Oh. Hopefully my volume's at a good level, cause when I rewatched the Supermarket Together collab I did with Porphyro, I noticed that like my audio was like a lot quieter than his was, and I was just like, this doesn't sound very correct. So I want to make sure I'm sounding okay today. Like, I want to make sure I don't sound too quiet, but also at the same time, I don't want to sound like a dying baby giraffe. I hope this sounds nice, I guess. If I'm doing that though, I should probably make the other hand a lot bigger. There we go. Perfect. Nice, nice. Now this looks slightly anatomically better. That was a dark allegory. The dying giraffe one. Yeah, I know. I got it from a YouTube video, actually. I think somebody, like... Basically, the video, I think, was a Super Mario Galaxy review. And they... Wait, no, it was a Mario Kart Wii review. And they were specifically talking about Rosalina. And when they brought up the Lumas, they said that the Luma sounded like a dying baby giraffe. I know it's a dark allegory, but this is what growing up on YouTube does to you. Nice. Okay, this is good. Definitely hides all the scuff that, definitely hides all the scuff that happened while I was trying to draw the head. Ooh. Okay, I like this. Uh-huh. Okay. Hello, Ava! Welcome, welcome! The Luma cheering is music to my ears. That little E is super adorable. I agree with that. I remember, like, I've seen people say, like, I remember seeing people say something along the lines of, this character shouldn't be added to Mario Kart. Nobody will know who that is. Which is funny, because, like, a lot more people know about Funky Kong now than ever because of Mario Kart Wii. So, basically what they said is very much invalid. Sorry, not sorry. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Now I'll just make some room for the hats. There we go. The Lumas actually kind of sound like the Astros from Astrobot. I have not really seen Astrobot before, but I can imagine that it looks nice. Okay. Yeah, I could work with this. I'm just checking the drawing every once in a while to make sure that it actually looks nice on my end, because, like, the other point of view definitely looks a lot different. Because, like, I'm drawing further away than I usually do because, because, like, I can't move my chair any further because something is obviously blocking the way, and I'm not too sure what it is. Ugh. Ugh. Frick. Okay. There we go. Okay. Perfect, perfect. So the so the character design that I'm drawing, I was only really given a bust up reference sheet, but I could most certainly finish up the full body, because whatever's left over, I can take it over with imagination, because that's what artists do. Whew. God, I love the Lumas. They are a great addition to humanity. Go. There we go. Ugh. The only Astro I've heard of was an Astro Boy that did a rant on a user. Oh God, user rants. Oh, I hate that I'm chronically online enough to know what that is. User hating. Oh God. The horror. I remember seeing that side of YouTube when I was like a teenager, and I never understood why people were to make videos like that. Just felt so cringe. But then again, I was taught at a young age, basically, why should I focus on hating a certain something when I could just be loving what I like instead? Which makes a lot of sense. Quote from Tron Legacy, "We here have a user audience booing." God damn it. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Whew. Hannah, one word as to why they exist. Autism. To quit a user, we all know all of us are autistic. Not everyone's autistic, but I don't really I definitely don't deny that a lot of people who made those kinds of videos were autistic, so which is why I don't find them to be entirely cringe. Because I don't think that I don't, because neurodivergency is not cringe. I will fight anybody who says otherwise, honestly. Because that's very ableist as someone who is autistic myself. Oh, okay. We all have a new enemy in town. Hell yeah. They have stepped on enemy territory. Ugh. Here we go. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Yeah, you're right, Mega Man. So true. Does anybody remember the, does anybody remember those grounded videos? Well, not just the grounded videos, but specifically the behavior card videos. Does anybody remember those? No story, no motive, no reason, and no background checks. So real. There we go. I could make it a dress. Yeah, that could work. Okay. There we go. Oh, girl, when I think of Mega Man, I think of this cringe phase I had in 5th grade when I hyperfixated on Mega Man. The original, not X and not Battle Network, the original. And I unironically liked the crappy Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon and Captain N. I mean, I was a fan of a lot worse when I was a kid. There was like this... I remember there was this one site that me and my brother went on when we were kids. My mom said that it was called Yahooligans, but it's now called Yahoo Kids because of the negative connotations that the term hooligan has. But back when I was like in elementary school, it was called Yahooligans. But essentially, essentially the site had us watch. What we were able to watch a bunch of cartoons, and other sorts of kids shows for free. Not all cartoons are for kids, by the way, but the cartoons that I watched, yeah, they were for kids. The ones that I remember watching, one of the ones that I specifically remember watching was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. There were so many, like, shows that, that my mom caught us watching, and then she told us not to watch them anymore for a variety of reasons. And the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was one of them, and the reason why she banned us from watching it was because she, it was because the show had bad words in it. And, like, it didn't make any sense, like, looking back at it now. I wanted to see if, like, that it really did have bad words. So I ended up rewatching it. I'm just like, where are the bad words? Where are the bad words? I was so confused. But I will say this one, I think my favorite show that I watched that was on that specific site, like, the site had a lot of, like, 90s, 80s cartoons that you could watch for free. So I ended up watching a lot of them. Like, I didn't really care too much about its age. I just saw moving pictures and I was like, wow, a cartoon, I want to watch it. One of the ones that I specifically remember watching a lot when I was a kid was specifically Madeline. That one was one of my personal favorites on that site. But there were quite a lot of Hannah Rite creepypasta. Mario said the fuck word. Oh no! Everyone, we're gonna die. Mario said fuck. Heavy's actor played a few minor characters in the live-action segments of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I love making the head calls. Oh, that's so awesome! That is so awesome. Oh, I forgot. She needs to have these nails. She needs to have these nails. There we go. Can't really do, like, all that really cool fancy schmancy nail decor, because well, this is traditional art and I kind of have to limit myself from there, but the nail decor art looks so good in the reference. It genuinely looks so cool. There we go. Perfect. And I'll do the same thing for this. I think the site was also where I ended up watching my first anime. Which, like, my first anime was definitely, like, a unique thing. Like, most people's first anime was stuff like Pokemon, Naruto, any of the big three, Dragon Ball, stuff like that. That's a lot of people's first animes, especially people who are around my age, right? Meanwhile, the anime that I consider to be my first anime was The Flying House. Basically, The Flying House is it's an 80s Christian anime. And I'm not joking when I say Christian anime. It really was a Christian anime. And it paved the way for some other like Christian anime, such as, I heard Superbook was also a Christian anime. Like, it's in, like, 3D, but I think it was technically made in Japan, so that could also be considered anime, according to the West. Like, according to the West, in the West, right? Anime is considered, like, any sort of, like, animated show made in Japan. But in Japan, they consider anime to be any show that's animated, which includes, but not limited to, to Japan, Tom and Jerry is an anime. SpongeBob SquarePants is an anime. Just think of any, like, Western cartoon. They see it as anime. So, while we see anime as stuff like Dragon Ball, Naruto, they see anime as King of the Hill. In fact, I could actually argue that the most popular anime in Japan is not what you would expect. Kids Western made animation is always so much better. So many kids' adventures and action stuff treat their audience like they're smart. So real. A lot of kids' cartoons are really cool. They're a lot better than like a lot of the live action stuff that adults my age are supposed to watch. I just want a little bit of whimsy. But anyways, the most popular anime in Japan is actually something called Sazae-san. It's been around since the 60s, and despite how popular it is in Japan, there's actually barely any preservation for that anime, and there is actually a good reason as to why. The reason why Sazae-san, despite it being so popular, doesn't have any sort of physical media released. It's not on any streaming sites. The reason why is because the creator of it only wanted Sazae-san to be on the TV. Nowhere else. Not on DVD, not on anywhere else. And like ever since their creator died, the creators of Sazae-san still fulfilled their wish, which honestly, they're doing it a lot better than Nickelodeon is doing with Steven Hilberg. I'm just gonna say that. Superbook was 2D animated and was drawn by Tatsunoko, basically Japan's equivalent to Hanna-Barbera. Animated it. There was a reboot that was 3D, which was done in America. I figured as much. I knew it. I knew it. Superbook was an anime. I freaking knew it. Like, I'm aware of like the 3D reboot, and it's quite nice that like the people in America, they were able to like reboot like something that was originally made in Japan, which is really nice. Ugh. I'm just drinking a little bit of water before I continue. There we go. Ugh. Neo Saban Power Rangers. Yeah. I'm not sure how to feel about Neo Saban. I mean, Neo Saban does have great Power Rangers shows. I specifically, Neo Saban was the era of Power Rangers when Saban got the rights back from Disney. They were really ham-fisted about morals back then, more so than Mighty Morphin. Also, I've never heard this, but not shaping and lining out the body before drawing it. SMH. I am sorry, I draw differently. I draw differently than other people, I guess. Like, not everyone draws the same thing. You gotta understand that. Oh, God. Ugh, I might need to redo that. I'm gonna redo that off camera because I want to make sure that I get this exactly right and not messed up in the slightest. So, you can look at this while I wait. Hello, Bill! Welcome to the stream! Recently, my girlfriend drew Ryugi from Gojuju, the religious knight I clipped your reaction to, in front of a stained glass window. That's so funny. Yeah, I know, I just gotta try to give criticism every now and then. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, but like, even then, there are reasons, that I can debunk those criticisms at any time. Well, not debunk, but like, you know, explain why this is there and stuff like that. Because nobody knows your own art other than yourself. Sure, I am very much pro constructive criticism. But sometimes people do have a reason as to why their specific art looks like that or whatever. And and talking about the what's a Passion Knight, it's what I like to call my fans. In VTuber culture, various VTubers have their own names for their fandom. So like instead of like somebody calling us Hannah Rite fans, we're called the Passion Knights, right? I'm just using myself as an example. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, what the? I just realized that my... Oh, never mind, it's not. Kanata spotted. Mods, pull over the PowerPoint and the Sona Bushi cover. I'm only doing this so I can get the face exactly the way I want it to. Here we go. Oh god, I might have lined it a bit too much, but it should be fine. There we go. This looks a lot better now. There we go. Awesome, awesome. However, we are not done. This is only the sketch. We need to do the line art and the coloring, because if we're only... Oh, I'm so glad I didn't know that. Every time I think I'm chronically online, I realize I'm not remotely in touch with the internet. You can call yourself chronically offline. It's okay. We won't judge. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna... There we go. I needed to, mess with the last page in the sketchbook, because I wanted to make sure that my pen can actually, ink the line art. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I kind of feel that way with like the every time I'm chronically online. I feel like I'm chronically online. Honestly, I feel that way every time Gen Alpha makes a new slang word for themselves. Like, like I never really understood the whole unk thing. Which is like, this is gonna be like the first and last time I'm gonna talk about the word unk on my stream. Cause like, from what I've heard, Unk is like a term that's like used to refer to your uncles, but the people have used it and basically turned it into a slang word that basically means basically calling people old. I mean, just use the word old. I mean, it's right there. I never really understood that. And then we have the F students. The F students are the inventors. They're so creative. So real! Like, never underestimate the F students. Never underestimate them. I think I was an F student at some point. Not like now, but like I was an F student in 8th grade. Doesn't unk status become an umbrella term to refer to anybody specifically in their 30s? Yeah, just call them middle-aged or something on the lines of that. Like, unk is actually a term that's used in what's called AAVE, which is African American, I think vernacular English. And like a lot of them a lot of like Gen Z slang words. No, 30 is not old. 30 is not old. A lot of like Gen Z, Gen Alpha slang words ended up being pulled from AAVE. Like, I've used a couple of those terms, like, before, like, finding out about, like, the list of AAVE words, and, like, I felt so bad, like, about, like, the fact that I used a good chunk of them. Especially since, like, a lot of them is in, Gen Z slang. And, like, as you can see here, I'm very much not black. I mean, to be fair, there are light-skinned black people, but I'm not light-skinned. I'm white. The 90s kids are now 35 years old. Yeah, people born in 1990 are now 35. I haven't gotten to my 30s yet, but, you felt so bad because you thought you were committing cultural appropriation. Yeah! That's exactly how I felt. I felt so bad. I was just like, oh god, am I appropriating this culture? I should probably stop. I know nothing about the 90s. I was a 2000s kid. Yeah, I was born in the 90s, but I don't really consider myself to be a 90s kid. Mainly because I grew up in the 2000s. I spent my childhood in the 2000s despite being born in the 90s. If that makes sense. Here we go. I almost thought that, like, my background music stopped playing for a second. Cause like I don't have my headphones on right now. Cause like all that's really playing is my background music, so I don't really need to like listen to it or anything. And like I wanted to like primarily focus on like the drawing and also talking to you guys. Also, trust me, people will be nostalgic for the 2000s the way 2010s people were nostalgic for the 90s. I mean, I was nostalgic for the I was nostalgic for the 2000s in the 2010s. I know that there will be people nostalgic for like, it feels like the 2000s were completely skipped over when it comes to nostalgic things, right? Commonly associated with nostalgia, because now people are feeling nostalgic for the 2010s. And like, and I'm just like, okay, so we're gonna be skipping over my childhood. Got it. Cause like I've seen people like feel like nostalgic for stuff like Undertale, Five Nights at Freddy's. I've even seen some people who were nostalgic for Baldi. And I'm just like, my guy, those are like recent things. Stop making me feel old. I was a teenager when all of those were released. Yeah. As long as people don't get nostalgic for the pandemic, people died, man. You know what's sad about that? I've already been seeing people romanticizing the 2020s. I've been seeing people romanticizing the 2020s. I wish I was lying, but I'm not. If only I was lying. But unfortunately, I'm not lying. Well, the people who do that just want to stay inside. So true. It was Gen Alpha people specifically who was romanticizing the 2020s. They were basically like, oh man, I wish I was a teenager during the 2020s. Meanwhile, I was just entering my 20s in the 2020s. So I wasn't even a teenager in the 2020s. I was a grown-ass woman. I was like going out trying desperately to get job interviews and crying because nothing was open. The pandemic was not fun. It was not fun in the slightest. Well, if so, they just hate going to school. Yeah, doesn't everybody? Honestly, doesn't everybody hate going to school? The 2020s is only halfway over. I know! I think it was like specifically 2020 that they were romanticizing. AKA when like the schools closed down. I just feel thankful that I graduated high school before the pandemic even started. I graduated in 2018. Same here, Hannah. Same here. So real. I hated school my entire life. Elementary, middle, high, everything about it was awful. I don't blame you. It really was. Like, especially especially if you got bullied in school, which I've definitely had my fair share of being on the receiving end of bullying. Like, I've seen people say that they hated school because of, like, the educational aspect to it. And, like, the educational aspect to it, that's fine. But, like, what's really bad about it is, like, a bunch of the people are just so mean in school, right? Thankfully, my senior year, I had a home tutor. Graduated in peace and quiet. That's good. I can't even imagine the virtual graduation calls, the crusty celebratory music, the poor green screen. God, I couldn't imagine graduating in 2020. May I ask an insane question? I mean, that depends. What is it? When you people imagine a prison bus, what does it look like? For me, what I imagine when it comes to a prison bus, I don't know why, but the first thing that comes to my mind is like a school bus, except it's gray and it has cell windows. That's the first thing I think of when I think of a prison bus. I mean, I might be completely wrong, and I'm not gonna look it up. Ugh. Oh man, this looks nice. Hell yeah. But of course, I'm not done. I do want to like add a few things. Thanks to being bullied in school myself for being a Sonic and Pokemon fan, I now hate a very specific group of internet folk, as if they weren't slandered enough. Are you talking about, like, the people who think that, everything is cringe? Are you talking about those weirdos? If so, yeah, I hate those. Go ahead. Laugh at how I drew the star. I don't care. Here we go. Awesome. Nice. Okay, now all I need to do is erase the original sketch, and then I should be all good to go for the coloring. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I'm so glad I graduated before the brony craze took off. I would have been killed. Yeah, I was like, I actually remember the brony craze back in the day. There was like a whole like convention based on My Little Pony as well. It was called BronyCon. And I remember I wanted to go to BronyCon. It looked so cool. But like, I don't really, like, looking back at it, I don't really think it was a good idea. Despite My Little Pony being, like, a kid show, I really don't think it was a good idea for me to go to BronyCon. Cause despite me being a part of the target audience back when I was a Pegasister, well, you know how the bronies were like. Like, I was 12 when I was a Pegasister. So, I feel like it just wouldn't have been safe for me to go to BronyCon, like, looking back at it. No, I'm talking about the weirdos that think that animals are better than humans. Oh, God. The same fuckers who bashed on me who think that Eggman is the only hot Sonic character. But you're right, though. Eggman is the only hot Sonic character. Why would people think you're weird for that? Oh god, I messed up the line art. That's awful. Awful. But it's okay. I can just draw over it. It's not going to be too much of an issue. There we go. Quote from This Is Basically Sonic. Speaking of a sexy large egg, so true. But even then, I'm looking back at it now, I'm kind of glad that I didn't go to BronyCon at the young age that I was. Because there were a lot of weirdo bronies. Exactly, Hannah, you get it. Also, they think I'm weird for that because thanks to us being too nice on them, they now think it's normal to be animal pilled. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But either way, I just think that Eggman's the only Sonic character that I would actually go on a date with. There we go. Alright. Hell yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at the, color sheet, as like some sort of reference to which colors to pick. Oh, this could work, I think. Let me check. Oh yeah, no, this wouldn't be it. This wouldn't be it. No, not that one. What about this one? Oh yeah, I think that could work. Let me check again. Oh yeah, I think that could work. Yeah, okay. But I'd say, though, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a furry. Furries are some of the greatest people that I've ever met. I mean, sure, there are a lot of bad furries, but the majority of the people that I met who identify as furries are actually really cool people. Go. Oh. Well, just be lucky you encountered the minority. I had to be stuck with the majority. By the way, to everyone out there, quit getting them confused. I don't know what you mean, but okay. Don't know what you mean by that, but okay. Okay. There we go. There was a lip color that I wanted to give. Oh, that could work. Okay. There we go. Purple bats, am I right? Oh, yeah, that's what we are. Yep, you guys are my awesome, awesome purple bats. Hell yeah. You know what's funny, though? For a long time, I actually used to think that this one VTuber's mascot, fan mascot, I used to think they were bats. It wasn't until like a few months ago where I actually found out that they were sheep. And I felt so dumb. Cause like, they looked like little bats. Like, do you really blame me for being confused? Plenty of bats can be cute. It's just kind of hard to find good pictures. So real. Well, they ended up looking like bats. You clearly know that something went wrong. Like how I confused Koyori for being a cat. Wait, she's not a cat? Is she like a wolf or something? Is she a wolf? Cause like my only two thoughts when seeing like her design, right, was either cat or wolf. Cat girl or wolf girl? Coyote, okay. That's the closest thing to the latter, I guess. You spelled it almost close. There's just an O between the C and the Y. But yeah, that's actually interesting. I never really thought about it. Oops. Never really thought about it that way. Also, on the topic, used to think that Poco was a rabbit. I wish she still was a rabbit. Huh, interesting. I thought she was a fox girl. I mean, was I correct? I don't know. She looks like a fox girl to me. But I can see why you would think that she was a rabbit. I mean, she is like a carnival girl, and like magicians usually pull like rabbits out of their hats, you know? So I get the confusion. I get the confusion. I do. I really do. She is the fox. As if those haven't been done to death. So true. I'm just trying to make the palms a little lighter than the rest of the body. I think I did a relatively good job on that. I think. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did it good. I did it good. Good, good, good. There we go. Hannah, quick question. Which animal do you think should be in VTuber designs more? Me personally, we need more roaches. Ooh, bugs. Bugs. Hell yeah. More bug VTubers sound nice. Personally, for me, I would love to see more VTubers who are aquatic animals. I remember people, like, being scared to, like, make shark designs, right? Because people will think that they're copying Gargura, even though, like, there's nothing wrong with there being more than one Shark Girl VTuber design. It doesn't just have to be Gura. There are some other, like, really cool aquatic designs for VTubers. Like, I'm not gonna name any examples because I mainly want the stream to be focused on me. But if you look up, like, various aquatic animal VTubers, you'd probably see them. Here we go. Perfect. Can you even call her a shark girl? That's just a kid in the hood with a glued-on tail. I mean, according to her lore, yes, she is a shark girl, so. Regardless about how you feel about her, you can't deny that, according to her lore, she is a shark girl. Pretty sure the tail isn't glued on. It's not. Okay. I feel like this one specific, not this one. This one specific color. Yeah. Yeah, that could work. Go. Anyways, have you ever heard of the recent phenomenon going on in Akibaland? I heard word on the street that a robot that looks eerily similar to Hannah roaming around. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just well, that's the. Don't worry about that. That is That is Hannah Bot. She is a Vocaloid based off of me. Don't worry too much about it. That's just a Vocaloid. And I have had duets with her every once in a while. Do I need to be concerned? No, don't be concerned. This is a completely approved variation of Hannah Rite. Now this Hannah bought a Vocaloid. It also claims that she is the real Hannah and something about a robot kingdom. Oh, she just has an identity crisis. Don't worry about it. I told her many times that she has her own identity and she should embrace that, but she's just very eager to say that, like, she is me, but she's not me, and that's okay. Also, do you remember the time I saved your manager from the Yakuza? Yes, I do, actually. And I appreciate that. Here we go. Perfect. Awesome. The hair's looking really nice so far. There we go. Did she play too much Sonic CD or Sonic Heroes? Also, I swear to God, if she has the cyan hair, I'm gonna run over her hands with the lawnmower. Don't. That's just what her character design looks like. I'm just going by what the reference says. And if the person who made the OC wants her to have cyan hair, then it's okay for her to have cyan hair. Could possibly use that, yeah. Where is that specific color, though? Aha! Perfect! I like artificial hair colors. Purples and blues especially. Hell yeah! You get it! Artificial hair colors are so good! It makes the design so anime-like in a good way. Mika fan spotted. Mods, ban him, confirm him, dumped to Defocoism. Oh man. I remember being 12 years old and I really liked Defoco for some reason. I think it was her design. It might have been her design, but I really did like her. And also, I had like this myth, right? I had like this thought in my head. Like there was this cover of Ochame Kino that was done by an Utao. It was specifically an Utao of Ritsu, but I didn't really know who Ritsu was at the time. So I thought it was Defoco singing it. It was specifically Ochame Kino. If you know what Ochame Kino is, then you've probably been chronicling online and on the internet in the early 2010s like I was. we go. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. Nice. Okay, what else? Oh, I do need to color the ribbons too. The ribbons on the shirt. There we go. Cool drawing so far. Also, gasp, hand reveal. Yes! My hands! These are, it is a Handcam stream after all. I did also show my hands in my Project Sakai stream. I don't know if you ended up seeing them clearly because I was wearing a hoodie during the time I was, during the time where I was recording it, where I was streaming it specifically. But yeah, Handcam streams are really fun. I do want to do more of them, but I don't know. There we go. Awesome, awesome. The same hand stand Hannah uses to... Okay, I legit got no jokes. Mods cover me. Play rhythm games? Is that what you meant to say? Or maybe hold the microphone. I do like singing as an idol. When I started the stream, I wanted to do, like, the whole, like, this is a bucket joke while I, like, throw down my sketchbook, but I didn't really want to, like, knock the webcam over because of how hard I tried to, like, position it correctly. There we go. No, I wanted to make an unoriginal Hannah commits crimes joke. Actually, that reminds me. Where is Hannah Wrong? Hannah Wrong, she is, I don't know where she's at. There was, basically, Hannah Wrong, her real name being Hananjo Wrong. She is the princess of Akibaland. She is not the idol of Akibaland, but she wants to be an idol really badly. Despite her being a princess, she wanted to be an idol. And she desperately wanted to take over my spot as being the Virtual Lavender Idol from Akibaland. But unfortunately, that didn't work out the way she intended to. And yeah, let's just say she's currently sleeping. I didn't do anything to her. I'm just saying. Okay, there we go. Would this work? Wait, no. This could work. Aha! There we go. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now I think about it, I've gotten reports of multiple Hannah clones. Hannah Wrong, Hannah Left, Metal Hannah, and apparently there's a fake Hannah roaming around. Huh. I mean, again, I am the Virtual Lavender Idol from Akibaland, so I can see why there are many imposters rolling around. They want to be me so badly. But unfortunately for them, they will never be me. There was this one time where it was my junior year of high school, and I specifically was in a career planning class, and basically the oh, I just realized that I forgot to color her neck. Whoops. I need to do that. But frick. Here we go. Here we go. Basically, there was a, something came up, and my teacher asked me what was the stupidest thing that you've ever done. Like, the cringiest thing that you've ever done, right? I said that I used to make really embarrassing plush videos. Back when I used to be called Super Mario Hannah 5, right? My teacher had this really silly idea, really crazy idea, actually. She decided to somehow find my channel and show off all those videos. While I was sitting in the front row. And I was cringing so badly. But, like, it was funny looking back at it. Especially since, like, the day before, right? I ended up not being in school because I had to, like... I had to take, like, a little trip by myself to a radio station that plays the same 5 songs! The same 5 songs! The radio station, they play the same 5 songs! I went to a radio station because I wanted to, well, not wanted, but, like, I had to, take a trip to at least one thing that I wanted to do after I left high school. And, like, at the time, I wanted to be a voice actress, right? So, obviously, we didn't really have any recording booths in, like, the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. So we went for the next best thing. We went for the next best thing, which was the next best thing was a it was a radio station. Because a radio station, the budget variation of voice acting booths. Ever hear of a Charmander named Spicy? You know what's funny about that? I specifically made a video that was about the Charmander named Spicy, because I specifically wanted to show that to the class. I specifically made it to show to that class. Because again, my teacher so badly wanted to see that specific video. Not like that specific video, but she wanted so badly to play my really old plush videos to the rest of the class. And at that time, right? At that time, I was so, like, I was so embarrassed about that idea. I was just like, oh no! I'm so embarrassed! But, like, yeah, I was a teenager. I was basically embarrassed by everything. I had like an absolute hatred towards my old self. This legendary Charmander created all of our hot chip and is responsible for coining the term hot plates. So real. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I should probably shade over here. There we go. And shade over here. Nice. Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. There we go. Ugh. Big fat Marios. Oh God. Don't put that in my head. Here we go. Mario Bob-Bombs are also cute. So true. So true. They're some of the cutest things that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Ugh. But not as cute as Shy Guys or Wigglers. So real. I will say that Wigglers are like some of the cutest creatures in the Super Mario franchise, and nobody can tell me otherwise. Honestly, I could color her shoes that. Has anybody else realized that pop songs are getting a lot shorter nowadays? Or is it just me? Like, I saw like this pop song that was like less than 2 minutes long and it felt so short. I'm just like, why is it so short? Speaking of Wigglers, is Maya around? Yeah, she's on my bed. She's just nesting. She's just napping well. Okay. Here we go. Okay. There we go. I think, like, the reason why pop songs are getting a lot shorter nowadays is probably because of the TikTokification of the music industry. Like, they completely abandoned bridges, and it seems like they made the songs as short as possible. Seems like they make the songs as short as possible in order to keep people's attention spans going. Which is really crazy to think about, actually. Hannah, were you really always right? No, I'm not always right. I mean, sometimes I can be wrong as well. It all depends on how I'm feeling today. Whether I want to be right or I want to be wrong. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We are almost done with the drawing. Hell yeah. I just need to... Oh, sorry. I just need to draw the background bits. Okay. I once made a mix of Vacation by the Go-Go's that repeated the one verse twice. Yeah, only one verse, the chorus, then the solo, and one more chorus. Too short. But I thought you weren't Hannah wrong. Who is this faker? Faker. I'll show you the faker around here. I'm actually Hannah Rite, but, you know. Sometimes I can be wrong. In legitimacy, not through my name. But yeah, this is actually Hannah Rite that you're talking to. I don't know what you guys are on. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Okay, and then this. I might as well put it. Oh, frick! Go. Hello, Seb! When will we get the Metal Hannah stream, or the Hannah Left stream, or the fake Hannah stream? We need more horror VTubers. I don't like horror. I'm sorry, you're not... If you want more horror VTubers, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get that from me. Here we go. Awesome. Okay. And I'm gonna make the trail. Oh, that could work. I'll put this back. You're not gonna find that here, sorry. Yeah, exactly, Neo. Like I said, I don't really... So, does that mean I can't share any horror art I made? I never said against you, There are no rules in this. There are no rules in the Passion Knight's Discord server that ever implies that you're not allowed to share any horror art. I really don't care. Just as long as you spoiler it, because not everyone wants to see horrifying content. So you are fine. You are fine to share your horror stuff. I don't care. Just because I don't like it, that doesn't mean everybody else does. That doesn't mean everyone else also dislikes it. There are plenty of people who like horror. Okay. Okay. I think I found a... I think this could work as the background. Let me check. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all coming together. Okay, and... time to begin the coloring of the background. Go. All right. Goodness gracious. The other side is getting so flattened. Because I decided to use this colored pencil to color the background. Why did you do this traditionally? I mean, I do digital art. But I wanted to do traditional art for a change. Because I've done enough digital art. Plus, I wanted to put my sketchbook to good use. To be fair, I think most of us here are more skilled in traditional art. I mean, I'd say I'm skilled in both. Some people are just a lot better at traditional art than they are in digital art, and I think that's valid. Honestly, you can draw in any way, shape, or form. You could draw in any style you want, as long as you don't do AI art. That is my hard limit. AI art is mine and a good chunk of other artists' hard limit. It's all about moving your fingers, as Mario puts it. Yeah, it's so true. Wahoo! Sorry about that. I'd rather commission a human artist. AI art programs are too unreliable. Not only are they unreliable, but they also steal resources from real artists. And it sucks because due to this, a lot of real actual artists often get their art mistaken as AI art. And it really sucks. And I wish nothing for the best for people who unreasonably get their art accused of being AI art. I say unreasonably because there are some people who very obviously have used AI art and they completely deny it. So a reasonable accusation is not the same as an unreasonable accusation. You know what I'm saying? True statement. Support your local artists, folks. I agree. I mean, yeah, sure. People have used AI art for shit posts, but I would much rather have my shit post drawn by someone else than be put through AI. I feel like I would have, I recently commissioned a piece of art, a piece by an artist who makes really good stuff that looks like anime screenshots. Yeah! I'm always amazed at artists who are able to do that. It's so impressive. Here we go. Remember when NFTs were a thing? Were like a huge thing? And so many people wanted to cash in to get their own NFT? God, those were wild. And they were most definitely hot garbage. But I would much rather have an NFT. I would much rather have an NFT than have than have AI art. Because, like, at the very least, for the Bored Ape, right? A common example, but whatever. The Bored Ape was actually drawn by an artist. Each variant of the Bored Ape was drawn by an artist. Believe it or not, they were drawn by an artist. AI can't and never will be able to do the same. This also applies to the people crying over an AI that making something that barely resembles Ghibli. I don't like that. I don't like that Studio Ghibli AI art thing. It just looks gross as hell. Like, it doesn't even look like the Ghibli art style. It just feels like a very soulless knockoff. Whether or not AI art is better than man-made is not up for debate. AI has already been stealing jobs, and it's also trying to take our comfort hobbies. Always pick talent over conveniency. I strongly agree with that. That is something that all artists should agree with them. And, like, the fact that, like, AI is starting to get a lot better at replicating art styles just makes things a lot worse. I used to not have too much of an issue of AI art, because, like, back then it used to be just, like, Dolly, which looked like absolute garbage, and I thought it would end up being absolute garbage. But then AI art evolved, and it's very clear that this isn't right. So, in fact, my statement is AI is basically doing the wrong things. I want AI to wash my dishes and do my laundry while I draw and write. Not draw and write so that I can do my laundry and wash my dishes. They're not crybabies. They're reasonably upset. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Awesome. Great. Awesome. I'm almost done with the drawing. This is going to be great. Our future technologies were wasted on smartphones and AI artistry. Where's my jetpack? I know! Where's my jetpack? Where's the flying cars? Where's the teleporters? Why didn't we get... We should have gotten flying cars and teleporters and jetpacks. Not whatever the frick is being pumped out nowadays. This was not the future I was promised. In fact, I feel like we're living in a dystopia at this moment. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Hell yeah. And that is it. That is the Passion Knight OC that I've so wanted to draw. There we go. Perfect. Yeah! So how does it look, everybody? Do you enjoy it? Does this look nice? Yeah! Hell yeah. This is what I like. This is who I like to call the first ever Passion Knight OC has been complete. Yippee! Also, it really just you with cotton candy hair. No, it's not. This ain't me. I'm not black. The OC, this OC is a black girl, and I wanted to, and that's why I was like, I was having a, like, not a hard time, because I knew what to look for, but I had, like, a lot of, like, colors on, like, the box, right, that looked very similar to what the OC skin color looks like. Like, a lot of these look specifically like her skin color, but I had to pick the light brown one because, like, well, the tan one on the box looks the most like her skin color, right? I couldn't use that one because when I actually, like, put it down on the paper, I was just like, oh, no, I don't want to be whitewashing her. So I had to pick another color. But I am so glad that it went well. Alright. Yeah. So that's it. I'm glad that you guys were able to be with me on this art journey, I guess. The color made me think they were tan, no offense. I don't blame you. The character in question does have somewhat lighter skin. But yeah, she's black. I made sure to, like, include the palms that is commonly seen in black people. But yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And since I'm done with the since I'm done I might as well head off for the day. I will see you guys I will see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but, like, on Thursday, where I do a Zatsu Jolt, so you can hang out and talk to me even more. I will see you guys next time. Toodles!